So now we'll go through a remote calibration for gas sensors. The remote calibration is done through the web page itself. And the benefit of doing a remote calibration is that it provides more diagnostic information for the user itself. It gives you feedback such as the status of the gas sensor after calibration is performed, as well as any feedback for when the last calibration date was done, as well as the successful calibrations. You can also get information such as the gas sensor type as well as the serial number. And now let's go through remote calibration.
First thing you have to do is enter the IP address of your device. Here we've already entered it, and this is a status page that shows up. Now if you just plugged in your sensor will be warming up. So one way to find out if your sensor is done warming up is to go to the diagnostics page here. You go to gas. So I have two sensors and one is warming up. So that's the notification you'll see. You'll see the status code hex 1000 and the message sensor warming up. So for a CO sensor, it takes 5 minutes for the sensor to warm up for a short-term interval. Once the sensor has completed warm up, you'll see a message like this. So it'll go status code 1, normal operation. And that's when you can actually start your calibration. So to start a calibration, you go to sensors, you go to gas, and you select which sensor you're doing. So we're calibrating sensor 2. We know that it's at normal operation, so we can actually start our calibration. At this point now, you will start your gas. You will turn on the regulator on the zero gas, and you will start a timer for 3 minutes. Once 3 minutes is over, you will go to calibrate 0. You'll hit OK on this message, and a 30-second timer will start. And once this timer is over, that's when your zero calibration value has been saved into the sensor, and you can move on to span calibration. And there you go. So the one thing you'd want to check is to make sure that your zero gas calibration is successful. For that, you'd go to diagnostics, gas 2, says normal operation. That means your zero gas calibration was successful. In the situation of a zero calibration fault, this message would change as well. You'd get a zero cal fault status message there. So now we can go back to calibrating the span for that sensor. So we'd go back to sensors, gas, sensor 2 is the one we're calibrating. And at this point now, I would change the regulator from the zero gas to the span gas, and I will turn that on for 3 minutes. So now that we've completed the zero calibration, we repeat the same steps with putting the regulator on the span gas, turning that on and waiting 3 minutes. You can see that at 3 minutes, the value is similar to what the span gas value is. We're pumping 50 ppm gas into the sensor, and it's reading approximately that at 3 minutes. Now we'll hit the calibrate span button, hit OK on this message, and the 30-second timer will start. And once your 30-second timer is complete, that's when the value is saved in the sensor. You'll have to just make sure that your sensor actually successfully calibrated, and I will show you the steps to do that as well. Alright, once your timer is complete, you can go to diagnostics, hit your gas, and select your sensor, and you can see that it says normal operation, which means that the sensor is successfully calibrated. Your second verification to make sure that the sensor has actually calibrated today is to go to sensors, gas, and sensor 2, and what you'll see here is the last calibration date has updated to today's date. which shows that the sensor has successfully been recalibrated. And that's all the steps you need to do for a remote calibration using the web pages.
And that completes our remote gas sensor calibration, and that also concludes our Maestro gas sensor calibration tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much.